What's good, YouTube? It's Christopher the Prophecy, and today, it baffles me how people don't understand the concept that the Lakers do not have any draft picks. So when people say, oh, the Lakers are tanking for Victor Wembanyama, with what draft picks? They gave them all the way to the Pelicans. The Pelicans have the rights to all. I mean, it depends on how many draft picks the Lakers gave them. If they gave him this year's draft pick, then the Lakers don't have no draft picks at all. So they could tank all they want to. What are they tanking for? You know, um, they have no, yeah, they have no draft picks. So what are they tanking for? So for people to say, oh, the Lakers are tanking for what? They can tank, but they're gonna be tanking into nothing. So they don't have no draft picks at all. Um, So just get that out of your heads, please. Y'all sound ridiculous every single time. I look at the comments. It's another, oh, the Lakers are tanking. Oh, okay. The Pelicans can tank and still get Wamba. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to call him VW. I'm just going to call him Victor W. Victor W. Now, I'm not saying that the Pelicans are not tanking. They don't have to tank. And they'll still get the Lakers draft pick. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's switch gears to the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so the Brooklyn Nets, to me, is a dysfunctional franchise. It's always been a dysfunctional franchise. Had a lot of the Nets had a lot of great talent walk out that franchise. They had Jason Kidd. They had Vince Carter. They had Kenyon Martin. I mean, they had a lot of great talent come through that organization. Didn't help them nothing. Had Kyrie, KD, James Harden. I told everybody that was not going to work. Because you cannot outshoot, the one thing you cannot do in professional sports is outdo the other opponent. Like, they think, oh, we don't need defense. We could just outshoot everybody. James can have 27, KD can have 41, Kyrie can have 31. Yeah, y'all can outscore people, but when it came down to playing defense, that was their kryptonite. They couldn't stop nobody on the defensive side. I mean, they had no problem dishing out points. It was just stopping opponents at their other end. It happened when they had the big 3-0. It happened when last year, you look at when they got swept, that was Achilles' heel. They couldn't stop nobody. People saying that KD is a good defender. KD is not a defender. If KD was a defender, he would have won Defensive Player of the Year, or at least be second. If it's not first team, if it's not first all team defense, has to be second. I mean, KD defends when he wants to. He's a willing defender. He just focuses his game on offense too much. Because his long, lengthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine him doing what Giannis is doing. Like KD should have been doing what Giannis is doing right now, playing on both ends of the court. He's not. He's just one dimensional. He just thinks scoring, 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 scoring. And if it wasn't for him, Jordan Golden State, he wouldn't even have no rings. So, I mean, he would have been on his second. Actually, yeah, he would have been on his second team in the past 5 years. You know. So the Nets is always going to be little brother to us. I don't care how many times y'all beat us in the regular season. we still have championships over y'all, even though it's the 70s championships. It doesn't matter. A ring is a ring. A championship is a championship. Like look how long the Mavericks last won their championship. That was their only championship because obviously they were supposed to win it against D Wade in that 2006 playoffs, but that game was highly questionable. I mean, Dwayne Wade got to the free throw line probably 33 times that game, and then obviously, 7 years later or 6 years later, they got their revenge against them in the finals with LeBron. So, so yeah, but the Nets are not going to go anywhere, and Vegas is just going to keep boosting their confidence. You know, Hope- just because they have Kyrie and KD, like you can see the difference. Like when Kyrie was on the court, he was -12. They were 28th in defense. They were not shooting good. As soon as he gets off the court, what a coincidence. They're playing darnly pretty good, you know? So I always say distraction leads to failure, and Kyrie's a distraction. Now Kyrie comes back and they digress, and they're playing back to the way they were playing those last 5 games. Then you could see who's to blame, right? Because right now the Nets are rolling. They've been pretty good. You know, when you, when you least expect it, stuff like that happens. So, yeah, I just think that the Nets are in a position to make amends. They're in a position to, clean their hands, you know. Now, if Kyrie's willing to come back and play the way they want Kyrie to play, and not always hero ball and iso ball and all that ball crap, then okay. But like I said, if Kyrie comes back and they're playing the same way that they played the last 5 games, you already know who to point the finger. Can't point the finger at the coach. Can't point the finger at KD. Can't point the finger at Ben Simmons. So who's the common denominator in that group? It's Kyrie. You know. So my Knicks won last night. Again, they cannot hold a lead to save their lives. They obviously let the Pistons come back in that game. We've got to find ways to close out games. We cannot let opponents come back like that the way they did. Hopefully, we face OKC. But then again, OKC, they play hard. Even though despite their record, they're they're playing hard. If you look at their last 5, 6 games, they went over those last 5 games. You know. So yeah. So we just have to find a way to close games, man. I won $50. No, I had won 100, and then it dropped down to 150, and it dropped down to 50 to 40. I was playing Super Draft. It's kind of like a bootleg version of FanDuel and DraftKings. So I had won the 100, dropped down to 50, dropped down to 40, dropped down to 35, dropped down to 20, and I won $15. I put that in my bank account, so it is what it is. But for some reason, I cannot deposit. Cause my other account, my other tablet that I had, the white one, the Samsung, the one before, I mean the one that got broken, that is the one that I used to deposit money. But since I have that, I don't have that account no more because I forgot the password. I can't deposit because it's not letting me. I mean, my email's already there. It's just not confirming it. It's like it's taking like it's loading very very slow, you know. But I can withdraw. I can withdraw. I just can't deposit. So I just play like free games, whatever. You know, whenever there's a free game, I just play free games and stuff like that. But yeah, man, just the Knicks need to find a way to close out games. You know, you cannot let teams like the Pistons and the OKC, you know, make it a game. You know, we got to find ways to close out games. But we started strong in the first half, second half, third half, third quarter, I should say, and then obviously we let the Pistons back in the game, kinda. Um, but we sealed the deal with the win. But we just got to get better in that situation. Um, but the NBA is kind of weird. You know, all the teams like Golden State Warriors are atrocious on the road. So every time they do play a road game, that's gonna have an effect. You know, because if they can't win on the road and they're winning at home, that's not a winning recipe. You know, I mean, I know they've done it in years past, but that's when they had depth. You know, I remember Steve Kerr always bringing it up. Yeah, we was, you know, I remember our first championship. We were winless on the road, and you know we went on to win the championship. Yeah, because y'all had different cats on y'all team. You know, y'all don't have Barbosa. Y'all don't have uh, Andrew Bogut. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all don't have those type of characters of players that brung you there. You know what I'm saying? Each year you have to retool. So you could keep on saying the same cliche, but you know, it's gonna rear its ugly head when it comes playoff. Like imagine if game seven is on the road. Imagine if game six is on the road, you know? Depends if they're the higher seed. Obviously, you know, the higher seed gets the home court advantage twice, you know. But they could easily drop those two games on the road, you know what I'm saying? And then they back at home. So, you know, it's a little wishy-washy, but Golden State just need to fix their woes on the road. You know, if they can find ways to win games on the road, they'll be okay. But if this continues, like we already saw them lose against who they faced, the Cavaliers. No, actually, the Cavaliers blew that lead. They were up, but they blew it. You know, so imagine if no, the Golden State Warriors was at home, but imagine if this was in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So again, you know, I mean they play very well at home. It's just on the road they have struggles. Like they cannot win on the road for nothing. You know. Um, but the NFL, that means I said the NFL, but the NBA is weird all the way around. You know, you would think teams like the Heat, you know, teams like Brooklyn would have a better record. But you know, expected unexpected sometimes in sports. You know, not every year teams like that are going to come off the gate firing. You know, I mean they're gonna struggle. You know, what are we like 12 games in? Like you're seeing bad teams keep up with good teams. Weird, weird, weird. So that's all I got for y'all guys. This was NBA talk, and till next time, take care of yourself and each other.